Walt Hazzard, Gail Goodrich, Sidney Wicks, Curtis Rowe, and many others, UCLA was fantastic, assembling star-studded rosters seemingly without restriction, and keeping them together year after year. Wooden's teams were much better than the top programs today, even if what they accomplished needs reframing. Duke had the potential to be a generationally great team in 2018 to 2019. Freshmen Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, and Cam Reddish all were taken in the first 10 picks of the ensuing NBA draft. Yet the Blue Devils lost in the Elite Eight to Michigan State. And even had they cut down the nets, I would not compare them favorably to the best of the UCLA dynasty. Williamson as a freshman simply couldn't match Alcindor or Walton as upperclassmen. Since neither Alcindor nor Walton were permitted to play as freshmen, there's no way to make a completely fair comparison. Yet even as we lean toward favoring UCLA's rosters and their run of titles, I maintain it is much harder to win an NCAA championship today. Let's not forget how the tournament has evolved through the years, marking what I call the modern era with the advent of the 64-team bracket in 1985. We've been at the current 68-team composition since 2011, but that is a far cry from how the tourney looked at its founding. From the first year of the championship in 1939 through 1950, there were only 8 teams included. In 1951 and 1952, there were 16 teams, as college basketball grew in popularity. From 1953 through 1968, the field ranged from 22 to 25 teams, and 7 to 10 byes were factored in each year. From 1969 to 1974, the field was fixed at 25 teams with 7 byes, and UCLA never failed to receive one. The years 1975 to 1978 brought the onset of at-large bids, credit Maryland and Lefty Driesell among others, with 32 teams invited and no byes. In 1979, the field expanded to 40 teams with 24 byes and still more at-large invites. The team tally trended upward in the early 1980s from 48 to 52 to 53 teams. The powers that be sought the right balance between automatic qualifiers and at-large participants. The bracket gymnastics came to an end in 1985 when the field fully expanded to an aesthetically perfect 64 teams, no byes. Even with minor expansion to 65 teams from 2001 to 2010, featuring a single opening round game, and to 68 in 2011 with the new-look First Four, the tournament really gets going in the eyes of the public when the main bracket of 64 is set. Those who lose in the opening round still get to count those games as tournament appearances, but for the millions and millions of people filling out brackets, noon Eastern of the middle Thursday of March is the true tip-off of the madness. And it must be purely coincidental just how many fans come down with a case of the sniffles at exactly that moment. Besides the fewer number of teams in the field, why was it easier to win the NCAA title 4 or 5 decades ago? From its founding and through most of the next 45 years, the tournament was configured geographically. Teams in the western part of the U.S. were placed in the West region. Teams from the Midwest were placed in the Midwest region, and so on. The nation's population dictated more schools and commensurate deserving teams being closer to the East Coast than there were in the western U.S. For example, the one-time ECAC, East Coast Athletic Conference, wasn't a conference in today's terms, but as a critical scheduling alliance, including many high-profile members, the NCAA had to take it seriously. Forerunners to the current men's basketball committee might have said, we'd better take the team that has the best record in each of the ECAC divisions. The ones just on the wrong side of the not-yet-named bubble were invited to the still highly regarded National Invitation Tournament, NIT. For a generation or more, the West region was considered the weakest. Look at some of UCLA's first-round opponents from 1964 through 1975. Seattle, Wyoming, New Mexico State, Long Beach State, Weber State. Which of those scare you?